Hello, welcome to Nationwide. I am Ogoshkuka Ona, and we are transmitting live from Abuja. Welcome. NNPC Limited has reiterated commitment to supplying crude oil for local refining based on mutually agreed terms and conditions. A statement by Olufemi Shoneye, Chief Corporate Communications Officer, NNPC Limited, dismissed reports on social media alleging unilateral termination of the crude oil sales agreement in Naira between NNPC and Dangote Refinery. He said the contract for the sale of crude oil in Naira was structured as a 6-month agreement subject to availability and expires at the end of March 2025. According to the statement, discussions are currently ongoing towards placing new contracts under the previous arrangement. NNPC said it has made over 48 million barrels of crude oil available to Dangote Refinery since October 2024, meaning in aggregate, NNPC has so far made over 84 million barrels of crude oil available to the Dangote Refinery since inception and since the commencement of operations in 2023. Now, the Minister of State, Petroleum Resources, Gas, Ekberikpe Ekpo, has applauded the Petroleum Technology Development Fund, PTDF, and called for fast-tracking the completion of the PTDF Center for Skills Development and Training in Port Harcourt, Rivers State. The minister, during a visit, highlighted its potential to improving technical and vocational education in the oil and gas sector. Lydia Sampson has details.
The PTDF Center for Skills Development and Training, located in Port Harcourt, Rivers State, is projected to provide employment opportunities for youths in the Niger Delta and Nigeria at large, bringing immense benefits across the entire oil and gas spectrum. It is a critical project in achieving the PTDF oil and gas domestication policy in line with President Bola Tinubu's renewed hope agenda. Taking the minister on a tour of the center, PTDF Executive Secretary Ahmed Galadima Aminu wheeled out the inherent ripple effects and said that PTDF will continue to work closely with all stakeholders to achieve the goals of improving the oil and gas sector. He said the project is 92% complete. The minister commended the PTDF, expressing optimism that the project will impact and improve livelihoods when completed.
The next time I come here, I want to come and see students, instructors, and the place will be lively, and so that we achieve the renewed hope agenda of Mr. President, giving hope to the people, the youth, the elders, and of course the women. I equally commend NCDMD for assisting in the completion of the tower building.
The Center for Skills Development and Training offers training in oil and gas-related skills, including welding, fabrication, heavy-duty and automotive repair, construction, masonry, plumbing, carpentry, ICT labs, basic electrical works, and basic requirements in health, safety, and environment. It will also train in catering, electronics repairs, seismic survey technology, amongst others. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
And the Senate has called on the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to conduct elections to fill the 2 vacant seats in the Senate. This is just as President Tinubu communicated the Senate seeking confirmation of 5 resident electoral commissioners. We'll bring you details in the course of the bulletin. And now the House of Representatives has passed a resolution asking the Central Bank of Nigeria to suspend the implementation of its latest policy increasing charges for automated teller machine withdrawals. Adopting a motion of urgent public importance, the House emphasized that imposing 100 Naira ATM withdrawal charge on consumers without corresponding improvement in service delivery is unjustified.
That the imposition of additional ATM withdrawal charges will further limit the financial inclusion of Nigerians by discouraging low-income earners from accessing bank services, thereby contradicting the CBN financial inclusion agenda.
In another resolution, the House has set up an ad hoc committee to investigate vandalization of oil and gas pipelines across the country. This move is to curb further economic losses in the sector.
In 2025, Shell reported an oil spill near Port Harcourt caused by an overflow during pipeline flushing operations, highlighting ongoing risks in pipeline management. Recognize that recurring pipeline breaches have led to extensive environmental degradation, loss of livelihoods, and substantial national revenue losses.
This motion is referred to another committee to be constituted in due course.
National Assembly correspondent Mitaire Ikben reports that the report of the House Committee on Finance on the 4 tax reform bills has been submitted at plenary. And now talking agriculture, the Minister of Livestock Development is wooing investors into livestock value chains to unlock the benefits lying fallow in the industry. Minister of Livestock Development Idi Mukhtar Meiha made the commitment while inaugurating the first indigenous salt lake factory in Zaria, Kaduna State. Yusuf Jika reports.
Salt lake is a block of salt or mineral-rich substance specifically designed for animals to lick, providing them with essential minerals that might be lacking in their diet. Minister of Livestock Development, Idi Mukhtar Meiha said the ministry is creating an enabling environment for such enterprising initiatives to thrive, leveraging on public-private partnership.
This unveiling also reflects our broader mission to modernize the livestock sector. From developing grazing reserves to promoting climate-stable practices and empowering rural youth, we are determined to unlock the full potentials of this industry.
Emir of Zazzau Ahmad Nuhu Bamali described Nigeria's livestock industry as a gold mine, calling on all to invest into livestock farming for self and national development.
We hope to also join the queue of animal farming. Probably maybe after this we'll key into that vision, to start, coming round to buy this product so that at least we'll move away from peasant farming, to commercial farming.
Speakers at the event said the factory is a new vista for animal health and nutrition that will further transform the livestock industry. In Kaduna, Yusuf Jika, NTA News.
And elsewhere, Nigerian farmers are leveraging federal government's digital extension services to enhance productivity and farm yields. And the latest is Sasakawa Africa. This is coming as the Ministry of Agriculture recently launched the National Electronic Extension Platform. Correspondent Zenret Demu reports.
Federal government under the National Electronic Extension Platform is targeting massive enrollment of private sector players in maximizing resources for quality farm produce. And these active Nigerian farmers on the platform of Sasakawa Africa Association Nigeria and other key players are leveraging the initiative for enhanced operations and improved services.
Digital technology is indeed the future. Therefore, transforming agricultural extension is a welcome development, a huge welcome development.
Digital tools enable us to provide real-time, accessible, and data-driven support, ultimately enhancing decision-making and productivity.
We are looking at opportunity to be able to ensure that the privately led extension service is integrated effectively into the system.
The platform is also to initiate conversation with farmers in evolving new ideas that will stimulate better options in driving a process of utilizing the huge potential in the sector for another period of 5 years.
The Nigerian Meteorological Agency, NIMET, has issued alerts concerning heat stress impacting numerous states across the country. The agency's statement indicates that rising temperatures and high humidity levels may lead to thermal discomfort in various states. The most affected areas include the north central and eastern states, which encompass Kebbi, Niger, Kwara, Oyo, Kogi, Nasarawa, Benue, Enugu, Anambra, Abia, Ebonyi, Cross River, and the Federal Capital Territory. Other vulnerable regions include the southwest and coastal areas, along with Taraba, Adamawa, Plateau, Kaduna, Zamfara, and Sokoto. As a precaution, Nigerians are advised to stay cool, wear lightweight and breathable clothing, and ensure they remain hydrated. Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu has expressed readiness to participate in hosting the 32nd Annual General Meeting of the African Export-Import Bank, scheduled for Abuja in June this year. She gave the assurance when the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, briefed her on preparations for the event at her office in the villa. State House correspondent Adeni Taiwo reports.
Between the 23rd and 27th of June this year, African heads of state and other policymakers within and outside the continent will converge in Abuja, Nigeria's capital, for the 32nd Annual General Meeting of the African Export-Import Bank. A successful hosting of the AGM is quite symbolic for Nigeria as the event rounds off the successful tenure of the current president of the bank, Professor Benedict Orama, a Nigerian.
First Lady of the Federal.
This four-man delegation, led by the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, is at the office of the First Lady, Oluremi Tinubu, to formally invite her to participate in hosting the event and ensuring its success.
These dignitaries, including heads of state, do bring their spouses with them. We would like you, Your Excellency, with all our support and help, to host a one-day event for the spouses, a spouses event. We would expect it to include, as you can imagine, things like a cultural outing and perhaps a lunch or a dinner occasion. Afrexim Bank itself will sponsor a philanthropic program.
We are all set.
The invitation was met with enthusiasm from the First Lady, who immediately sprang into action, offering preliminary suggestions.
I would have loved a lot of tourist centers to introduce to them, but that's what we need to have in Abuja. I was just trying to at least to shorten my list and see where we can go and just make it short, not too stressful. We can do special carrier bags for them, which will state the events while they are here in Nigeria.
Already captured in a plan is a philanthropic visit by visiting spouses of heads of state to the newly constructed Nanaberi Orphanage in Nasarawa State.
We would have commissioned Nanaberi then, the children would have moved in, so it would be a good place for them to also be able to enjoy some of the charity benefits that they can get from Afrexim Bank, and it will be a good site for them to visit.
Established in 1993, Afrexim Bank has a strong presence in Nigeria with its African Trade Center springing up in Abuja, while its Quality Assurance Center, situated in Enugu State, supports export of Nigerian products. In the State House, Adeni Taiwo, NTA News.
In the meantime, the First Lady Oluremi Tinubu, in the second phase of her demonstration of empathy, kindness and philanthropic nature, this Ramadan has donated 1,000 cartons of pasta to the Muslim community in Abuja. This was done through the Abuja National Mosque for distribution to the beneficiaries. Abdullahi Ajia reports.
In continuation of Nigeria's First Lady kind gesture to the Muslim community, particularly those in need, beneficiaries in Abuja were drawn from different groups, organizations, and communities. Chairman of the Distribution Committee of the Abuja National Mosque, Ustaz Abubakar Sadiq, coordinates the distribution on behalf of the board chairman, the Etsunupe. He stresses the need to emulate such gesture by the First Lady.
It means that a leader is a leader. She is the leader of both Christians and Muslims, and she is setting a standard and setting a precedent that whatever religion one professes, he's a Nigerian, and a leader should take care of all. Other first ladies in this country, those that have gone and those that are coming, should have a lot to learn from Senator Oluremi Tinubu. His Eminence the Sultan has instructed that we should make sure that these items reach the desired recipients.
The quiz segments of Sahur Life on NTA was among the beneficiaries.
We feel honored to be able to be part of the people who would extend this to the needy. And we are saying we will do our best to ensure that her desire of ensuring that the needy get something to feed on in this glorious month of Ramadan is met.
Earlier, wife of the president had donated 1,000 bags of rice and 100 bags of sugar, which had been distributed during the first phase. This development the coordinators and beneficiaries describe as timely, while praying for Allah's benevolent grace upon the benefactor. In Abuja, Abdullah Hajia, NTA News.
And now to judicial matters. The Supreme Court has dismissed the appeal of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, and its governorship candidate, Agbola Ajayi, challenging the qualification of Ondo State Governor Lucky Ayedatiwa to contest the November 16, 2024 governorship election. In a unanimous verdict by the Apex Court's panel of justices, Justice Garba Lawal, who read the lead judgment, maintained that the appeal was baseless, frivolous, and lacking in merit. The Apex Court upheld the concurrent judgments of the Federal High Court and the Court of Appeal on the disputed qualifications. Ajayi, the appellant, had sought to nullify Ayedatiwa's victory, accusing the governor's deputy, Olaide Owolabi Adelami, of forgery, impersonation, and using a false identity. The appeal, which was a pre-election matter, was statute barred as the suit was filed at the Federal High Court out of town. Now, sustained efforts are required as emerging security concerns of armed banditry and kidnapping in schools heightened in Benue State. Moses Ajawu Ode brings us to speed with some of the recent incidents of insecurity in the state.
Over 5 local government areas in Benue State were reportedly under siege by bandits, while the farmer-header conflict left over 1.5 million people displaced at various camps across the state. Barely 2 years after, with the deepening of surveillance and result-oriented strategies by government and security forces, this menace seems to have gradually reduced.
We must begin to look at issues from this dimension, that when a crime is committed, it should be seen as crime and not individual. This issue of profiling, ethnic profiling, is not correct.
The gradual return of some displaced persons to their ancestral homes attests to this. However, despite combined efforts of the security agencies in nipping the ugly trend in the bud, emerging security issues like kidnapping and headers attack still confront some communities, putting students of both elementary and tertiary institutions as well as locals in perpetual fear.
Recently, they came to attack one of our villages, kill 5 young men.
When we had a local outfit here called Abaku, the thing dropped because we were there chasing them. We know the terrain and we were chasing them. But when the government or the politicians say, no, Abaku must be our own to be used, and I said, no, I won't be heard of it.
The Benue State Police Command Public Relations Officer, Sewesi Anene, who condemned the recent upsurge in crime rate in Sankara, Otukpo, and other areas of the state, challenged the people to cooperate with the security agencies in order to arrest the ugly trend.
But as we speak, there is deployment of police officers across the state to maintain peace, pending when more lasting solutions will be brought about by security agents in Benue State.
In Makudi, Moses Ajawu Ode, NTA News.
And we now get more insights into the security challenge in Benue State, especially Naka-Gwa West local government area. We have Moses Ajawu Ode standing by at the police headquarters in Makudi. So Moses, we've seen your background report, so tell us more on the security situation there.
Okay, thank you, Ogochukwuka, and welcome to Makurdi. As you can see, I'm right by the Benue State Police Command here in Makurdi. And the situation here in Makurdi is calm at the moment. But early hours of this morning, we got a report that three members, operatives of the Benue State Volunteer Guard were killed at a village called Garua Village in Gwe West local government area. When the bodies were taken to the local government secretariat in Naka, some hoodlums took advantage of the situation and set the local government secretariat ablaze, as well as the palace of the Te Nagi, His Royal Highness Daniel Abomse. And just as we got here, the Benue State arrived from Naka is just 2 hours or thereabout away from Makurdi town to assess the situation in Naka. So that's the situation here. However, there are pockets of other kidnap activities around some communities in Benue, like Otukpo and Sankara, which bandits took advantage of the situation there, and that's the situation. But so far, Benue is calm. And like you heard from the local government chairman of Agatu, Agatu is a border community bordering Benue and Nasarawa, and has over time been on the news for negative reasons because of farmer-header clashes. But this morning we also heard from him that the situation there is so peaceful, and in fact they've commenced dry season farming. And I think that's a commendable feat for the local government. So on the whole, Benue State is peaceful at the moment.
Thank you, Moses. We thank God peace is returning. And please do well to keep us updated as events unfold. Thank you very much for your contribution. All right, we are now joining Hinkino in Lagos. She has more reports for us on Nationwide today.
Ogochukwuka, and welcome to Lagos. To speed up the realization of sustainable development goals and the economic prospect of the West Africa sub-region, ECOWAS parliamentarians are recommending adoption of uniform health and education reforms that will enhance the capacity and well-being of citizens. Joel Pupola reports that this initiative is part of efforts towards achieving regional integration and human capital development.
West Africa is one of the richest regions on the continent, with abundant mineral resources and population estimated at over 400 million and still growing fast. Experts say it is time for the region to deepen synergy to harness resources for economic advancement. The ECOWAS Parliament believes paying attention to education and health, which are currently backward, will ensure West Africa keeps pace with the rest of the world, especially with 15% of the budget of members going to education and health.
High time for us to make sure that we try to create that advocacy to talk to institutions so that we can try to harmonize, our policies on education to tailor-made to get desired results. Because education right now, I think it's high time for Africa and also, of course, our West African region to reprioritize and look into our education curriculum that are geared toward problem solving in our community, not just the conventional way or the colonial way of education.
But talking about health and education is interrelated. So to talk about issues relating to the health sector, I think that one is laudable, and we are going to tap into these facilities that they have stated, and also talking in terms of health, because we are still, as I have stated, health is wealth.
Having a uniform developmental agenda, legislators say, aligns with the ideals of ECOWAS and puts the region in a vantage position. With the population of West Africa expected to reach 600 million by 2050, human capital development experts agree should be prioritized. In Lagos, Joel Bukbola, NTA News.
Talking agriculture now, Nigerian agricultural research institutes must start to reposition themselves with cutting-edge technologies in the delivery of their mandate, which is making available improved agricultural products even now as climate change and other antecedents affect agricultural productivity. This is the conviction of farmers as they speak on role of agric research institutes in boosting harvest. Lanre Bele has more.
In Nigeria, there are agric research institutes on cereal, root crop, horticulture, store products, rubber, cocoa, oil palm, animal production, freshwater fisheries, veterinary, oceanography and marine, and agricultural extension. And they are saddled with the responsibilities of conducting research to improve agriculture and food security, train farmers, and develop new crop varieties. For farmers, these agric research institutes need to improve their service to be more impactful.
To my own insights on the research institute, they have scored below the average. That is my assessment.
Now that the whole world is now clamoring for food security, this is the best time for them to come out. If you ask any farmer of any of agricultural institute in Nigeria, I bet you 95% will tell you they have no clue whether they exist or not.
Their roles have become more strategic to the present administration's mission of being in the threshold of sustaining the development agenda goals, which starts by improving the socio-economic growth of the country. For this reason, farmers want the government to reposition them.
So I implore the government to increase their federal allocation to agriculture, 1. 2, any institute was able to bring in any research, let their name be boldly written and their royalties should be paid.
For Nigerian farmers, the institutes need to be more strategic in their research, especially in the present technological age, climatic conditions, regional location of crops and their varieties, as well as establishment and development of organic and inorganic fertilization. In Lagos, Lanre Bele, NTA News.
That's our contribution from Lagos. Nationwide continues in Maiduguri after the break.
And just before we get reports from Maiduguri, as earlier promoted, let's quickly tell you that President Bola Tinubu has appointed Dr. Mohammed Aminu as Registrar, Chief Executive Officer of the National Business and Technical Examinations Board, NABTEB. Dr. Aminu holds a PhD in automobile technology and a master's in procurement and supply chain management and brings 28 years of experience in teaching, administration, research and policy development to his new role. Until his appointment, he served as Director of Procurement at the National Agency for Science and Engineering Infrastructure, NASENI, and has authored multiple publications and presented research on innovative pedagogies, youth empowerment and poverty alleviation. Similarly, President Tinubu has also appointed Mr. Idris Olorunimbe as Chairman of the Universal Basic Education Commission UBEC Board, Razak Olajuwon as UBEC's Deputy Executive Secretary Technical, while Tunde Ajibulu will serve as Deputy Executive Secretary Services. The President notes Mr. Olorunimbe brings years of experience in innovative leadership and commitment to youth empowerment, adding that his prior role on the board of the Lagos State Employment Trust Fund will also guide his current role. And Mr. Olajuwon, until his appointment, was Director of Administration and Human Resources at the Lagos State Infrastructure Maintenance and Regulatory Agency, while Mr. Ajibulu, a fellow of the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies, NIFS, was a director at Tangent Construction Nigeria Limited and partners at Covenant Consultancy Services. President Tinubu enjoins the new appointees to strengthen the human capital needed to drive educational reforms and enhance service delivery at UBEC, ensuring greater access to quality basic education nationwide. And similarly, President Bola Tinubu has appointed principal officers for the Federal University of Medicine and Medical Sciences, Abeokuta, Ogun State, and Federal College of Education Technical, Yauri, Potiskum, Yobe State. Professor Fatiu Abiola Arogundade is to serve as Vice Chancellor of the Federal University of Medicine in Abeokuta. Dr. Abayomi Olukayode Gregory is the Registrar, while Adedokun Omolola Olufunsho is the Bossa, and Dr. Idiat Odunola Agbola is the University Librarian. Professor Arogundade, a professor of medicine with over 33 years of experience of teaching, research and administrative experience, and as a fellow of the International Society of Nephrology, he has spearheaded groundbreaking initiatives. And similarly, the president appointed Professor Saadu Umar as the provost of the Federal College of Education Technical in Yauri, Kebbi State. Mr. Abdullahi Ahmed is the registrar, Dr. Mohammed Yusuf Al-Khali is the bossa, and Mrs. Maimuna Mohammed Ahmed is the librarian. Professor Umar is a professor of agricultural extension and deputy vice chancellor of research and innovation at Kebbi State University of Science and Technology. Alero, he is renowned for his academic leadership and commitment to educational development. President Tinubu implores the new officers to provide visionary leadership and build a solid foundation for the university's growth and development. Presco Nigeria PLC has unveiled its first set of female tractor drivers in demonstration of its commitment to advancing women's rights and gender equality in the workplace. This was during the celebration of this year's International Women's Day at the company's headquarters, Obagi, in Ikpobaoka local government area of Edo State. Let's now get details from Jude Abugu.
A female-to-male ratio of about 40 to 60%. Presco boasts of a good representation of women in various units of its work stream, except in heavy-duty driving, which was before now male-dominated. However, these ladies have broken the dominance, becoming the pioneer female tractor drivers in the company.
It's not something that is common in Nigeria, seeing a female handling or driving, operating that kind of big vehicle.
The front driving is easy, but the revising is that kind of critical. But in the space of 3 months, we know how to drive it very well.
The managing director, Reggie George, said the initiative was part of the company's target for women participation and gender inclusion in 2024.
We want to improve the participation of women into all what we do, not only into the lower categories of the employment, it is into the managerial categories also, and where we give a lot of importance over the years. It is essentially looking into equality, the rights for the women, and also the empowerment.
Every International Women's Day excites the Presco women, as the company always puts up an event to celebrate their commitment, resilience, and hard work.
I'm the first woman that started climbing tankers, all these trailers you are seeing. I trained my subordinates, both the men and the women, on how to seal the tankers after we fill in the oil. So the effort I put in as a woman made the organization to come up with this.
Through this, the women in Presco are also now made to be aware of the power that we hold.
Through a debate, the women tested their knowledge of causes and prevention of sexual harassment to reiterate the company's zero tolerance for sexual harassment in Obagi, Ikpowoka local government area of Edo State. Jude Abugu, NTA News.
The National Assembly says it is committed to providing the needed legislative support for the successful implementation of the Blue Economic Policy as encapsulated in the renewed hope mantra of the federal government. This re-echoed at an oversight at the Maritime Academy of Nigeria, run by the House of Representatives Committee on Maritime Safety, Education and Administration. Clement Barikui has details.
Members of the committee on arrival at the academy met with the management before proceeding on a tour of facilities led by the acting rector, Dr. Kevin Okonna. The lawmakers note that the institution is critical to the realization of Nigeria's economic diversification, commending President Bola Tinubu for appointing a governing council for the academy as enshrined in the extant laws establishing the institution.
Let me thank the President of Nigeria, President
Ahmed Bola Tinubu for graciously appointing the governing council of these great institutions.
In focus during the oversight visit was the 5% budgetary allocation to the academy, need for increased funding, and the appraisal of the budget performance of the Maritime Academy of Nigeria.
We came here, we asked questions, and we've also gone to see what they have used the money for, especially the areas of capital projects, and we are satisfied.
The guidance and support of the Federal Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy to the Academy were also highlighted as the House of Representatives Committee affirmed support to the implementation of all policies and programs that will make Nigeria a marine and blue economic hub. Clement Barikui, NTA News.
And from Uyo, we head to Enugu, and Chika Okori is there to give us what is trending from that zone. Hello, Chika.
This is Enugu Network Center. The Southeast Development Commission is set up to champion high-impact development initiatives that will position the region as a first-choice investment destination for investors. Ideas on how to achieve this mission by the year 2030 formed the crux of discussions when members of the board and management of the commission visited Enugu State Governor Dr. Peter Mba as part of the stakeholders' engagement tour. Susan Eze reports.
Describing the Southeast Development Commission as an idea whose time has come, Governor Mba thanked President Bola Tinubu for bringing this dream of a body to drive the Southeast regional infrastructural development to reality. The governor assured that his administration is open to collaborations that will accelerate achievement of this common goal.
I believe that we're partners in progress, that we're going to be able to work with you in all the areas that it is necessary for us in order to achieve our common goals.
Chairman of the Southeast Development Commission Board and the Managing Director of the Commission, represented by the Executive Director of Projects, observed that these efforts align seamlessly with the broader regional aspirations of the Commission.
We got to leverage our strengths and opportunities as well as transform our weaknesses into strengths. NCDC is championing several high-impact programs, including strengthening security infrastructure in partnership with state governments to ensure a safe and stable environment for investments and development.
Other objectives include collaborating with states to achieve a $200 billion economy by 2035. In Enugu, Susan Eze, NTA News.
Enugu State Government has distanced itself from illegal task force team parading with the mandate of collecting revenue for the state government. The latest is a purported environmental task force team collecting revenue on activities of scavengers and recycling. Chika Ubu is our guide.
Last year, the state government approved a team to look into activities of scavenging with a view to addressing and organizing a structure for recycling for the safety and benefit of Enugu residents. However, the state government has been notified of purported team of Government House Environmental Task Force parading themselves with the mandate of collecting revenue. The SSG frowned on the illegal task force and promised that thorough investigations would be carried out and perpetrators punished.
The security commitments we made as it relates to people walking around our neighborhoods and carrying things and robbing people all in the name of scavengers, that we address it decisively. But that is not a substitute to now going around and carrying people's things and confiscating it and charging them money.
Professor Onya further urged residents in the state to refrain from paying money to any task force team.
SWAMA, as the authority that statutorily is responsible for environmental matter, with our revenue team that assures that all revenue goes to the state, and with the security team that will delineate scavenging as a security problem and recycling as an entrepreneurial venture.
He further reiterated the state government's commitment to fight illegality and enthrone transparency, accountability, and traceability. In Enugu, Chika Ugu, NTA News.
That's our contribution from here. After this break, Makode is next.
For joining us in Makudi. The Benue state government has signed a 3-year work plan with the United Nations International Children's Emergency Fund, UNICEF, for the promotion of nutrition among children and women. Deputy Governor Dr. Sam Ode, who performed the ceremony on behalf of the state government, assured UNICEF of maximum cooperation to the full implementation of the work plan. Elias Itiav has more.
The signing of the 3-year work plan between the Benue State government and the United Nations International Children's Emergency Fund, UNICEF, is targeted at reducing hygiene-related deficits among children and women in the state. The work plan, which is to span between 2025 to 2027, is a joint commitment towards the realization of rights of women and children in the current country program of partnership. Chief Field Officer, UNICEF, Enugu Field Office Juliet Chiliwe explained that the comprehensive plan is a social protection geared towards reaching out to vulnerable groups, especially women and children. Deputy Governor of the state, Dr. Sam Ode, noted that the role of UNICEF is fundamental in providing the necessary protection for these categories of people and pledged a commitment of the state government to the full implementation of the plan.
For us, we consider it as an emergency, and I must tell you here on behalf of the governor that we are committed to our own part of this bargain. All the counterpart funding you need to put in place to match whatever you are doing so that we can deliver on the expected objectives. The Benue State government is going to do so.
UNICEF is one of the leading bodies that provides social support programs amongst vulnerable groups across the world. In Makudi, Elias Etiav, NTA News.
On infrastructural development, timely completion of the Makudi-Otukpo Enugu dual carriage highway construction will significantly address the problem of food shortage and boost the socio-economic status of the state. This is the submission of some motorists as construction work on the 246.6-kilometer highway reaches appreciable height. Moses Ajau Ode reports.
The construction of the dual carriage highway cutting through Kefi, Lafia, and Makudi had since been completed and in use. However, the second phase of the 246.6-kilometer covering Makudi-Otukpo, which is to terminate in Enugu State, is still under construction, and the progress of work continues to excite some road users and motorists.
The dust is still plenty on the road. If you carry food coming to this Makudi, it will be everywhere, everything will be dusty. Oil, everything, water, everything is dusty. The government should please assist them to meet up the road.
Try those houses on the road, which at least I don't know the mode which they do the compensation, but that is one of the major delay on that road.
Box-stop culverts, bridges, and asphalting of some aspects of the road have become visible as work continues to progress. For other road users, the dual carriage road will improve travel time and interstate connectivity.
I thank government for starting the project in the very first place. And I'm also urging them to try and hurry things up.
We commended the federal government for the initiative, urging them to equally complete other ongoing projects in the state before the commencement of the wet season. For the Federal Controller Works, Benue State, Olamide Alabi, work is in progress and issues bordering on compensation will soon be addressed.
The contractor has achieved 20.19% of permanent works already, of which the public that are traveling the routes can attest to.
With the progress being recorded on the Makurdi-Otukpo Enugu dual carriage lane, it is expected that if completed in good time, it will reduce travel time and ease transportation for farmers across the state and the country in general. From Otukpo, Benue State, Moses Ajao Ode, NTA News.
And that's it from Makurdi. It's now back to Ogochukwuka in Abuja.
Thank you, Fatima. And now Bayelsa State has achieved some developmental strides in recent years, especially in the power sector. Ebinimi Zitimiyola tells us more.
Yes, electricity drives development, but over the years, Bayelsa suffers epileptic power supply. It was worse when the state went into total darkness for over 4 months following the vandalism of power infrastructure between Abuja River State and Igbogini Bayelsa State. So the procurement of the 60 megawatts gas turbine by the Bayelsa State government is in response to the clarion call for the state to establish its independent power generation source. Talking about the 25,000 capacity stadium, obviously is to promote sporting excellence. In the words of the governor, the facility, when completed, will serve as an inspiration to the youths where dreams can take flight, talents cultivated, and destinies fulfilled. But in terms of completing the projects, the governor is conscious of the capital-intensive nature of the project, so is seeking collaboration with the private sector and IOCs towards actualizing that project. Thank you, Ebinimi from Bayelsa State. All right, and that wraps it up this afternoon on Nationwide. Thank you so much for watching.